Hey stranger, where you been? What's going on here? Check out the sweet almond, guys. Sweet almond. No, you don't get almonds out of this. This is just a bush slash tree. This thing gets quite large. A lot of people use these as windbreaks and stuff. It just gets covered with bloom, and the smell of this thing is excellent. There's a honeybee. One of my honeybee girls sucking on a flower right there. Yeah. Clouding up. Ooh, I don't like the looks of that. Don't like the looks of that, guys. Oh wow, this Pakistani mulberry is getting crazy, guys. I'm gonna cut this thing way down, but my girl at the nursery, she told me do not cut this thing at all while it's in the growing stages. It's already fruited. It's done. Only one time. It happens in the spring. This is the fastest growing tree I've ever seen, guys. This thing is unbelievable. This is like Jack in a beanstalk action here. I mean, it's crazy. And it's multi-stalked here, as you can see here. Look at this thing. It's just shooting out. That's from one plant, guys. One plant. And it's just from one plant. And it just came over here and sprouted out another one over here. Yeah. What is this thing here, guys? Moringa. Moringa. An edible tree. I don't know. I dry this stuff and put it in capsules. And eat a couple capsules a day. It's supposed to be kind of all good for you. Look up moringa. You can buy their dried moringa powder and get double aught capsules and do your own if you want to. But yeah, this thing here is saving a lot of lives in Africa. People starving in Africa. The babies starving. They make up this green juice and give it to the babies and stuff. Yeah. Whatever. I'm pretty much a carnivore myself. I got a new plant I bought yesterday. Miss Daisy wasn't too happy about it, but oh well. Let me show you what that is. Check this thing out, guys. This is called Jatropha. Jatropha. Don't ask me how to spell that. Just look up Jatropha. You can see the leaves on this thing. Kind of different shape leaves. Like there's one that looks like almost like a turkey foot. See that? It looks like a turkey foot. But yeah, this thing gets leaves now. It did a little shock action yesterday when I planted it because it's dropped a lot of its petals here. But this thing, these things, guys, are fantastic for bees. Look up in your area to see if you can grow it. I don't know if, you know, I'm in 9B, okay? A lot of stuff you can grow. Like, I was asking the girl about eucalyptus. You sell eucalyptus? I've got a huge nursery right over here. And she said, no, we're too far north. She said if you go south, down around, you know, South Florida, you can grow the eucalyptus. And that is an excellent source for the bees. But this thing blooms year round. Now I've got some in my utility room sitting there on the ledge. I've cut off, not from this plant, but I have another one that I've cut off cuttings, and I cut all the leaves back, and I skint back the bark on the bottom, and I've got them in water to see if I can sprout them. We'll see what happens 14, 20 days or whatever. Keep changing the water out. But yeah, this was in a 7-gallon pod. This little puppy right here cost me 65 bucks. So I transplanted to this. I put oak leaves in the bottom, about that much oak leaves, and then I put topsoil in. And when I set this 7-gallon pot in, I had about this much all the way around of space. So I filled that up, and then I top dressed it. I top dressed it with oak leaves here over that. So yeah, that's it, called the Jatropha. We will have a lot of these in Steve-O's Garden of Eden. Yeah, I've got a bottle brush there and a bottle brush over there. I put them in last year. Those things are doing good. This thing hadn't flowered too much last year, not yet. It will. I just fertilized it. This is also a sweet almond. You can see one little puny thing here. I'm going to have to investigate too. I didn't trim this back. It probably, when winter comes, I need to do a trim back and then let new stuff come up. Yeah, but we've got a few blooms here going on. I'm thinking that's the way to go. I got to talk to my nursery girl to find out for sure how that's going to go. But anyway, yeah. Love playing with flowers. Anything that the bees like, that's what I'm going to put in. Yeah, okay guys, we've got a couple little problem childs here. They're getting into my pollen feeder. The bees haven't been working it, but what has been working is a baby possum. I set my tripod up. I set my camera right here on this peg, shooting right here. And to my surprise, it's been running 2 nights. And the first night, I had rats coming in here, 2 rats, pretty good sized rats. Coming in here, they crawl right down here, come on, they do a black backflip and crawl right inside, and they just love that powder. That is Ultra B in there. But last night, to my surprise, here comes a baby possum. Yeah. And last night, before I went to bed, I set this thing up, this rat trap, and I drilled 2 holes through here, and I put a piece of 14 gauge tie wire through and around on this limb and tied it up tight, you know, with the pliers. So yeah, I was hoping to smash a head last night and I didn't. They fired the trap off, but that possum probably came down here, messed around and bumped the trigger and it fired, whatever. And all you gotta do is bump this thing. Once you cock a little bit, you'd hit it just a little bit. These are so sensitive, it's crazy. So it totally missed him. And these rats, guys, possums are dumb as a box of rocks, okay? But rats, them guys are very smart, very intelligent animals. And if they see that thing snaps, or they get one of their cousins snapped in this thing, and they come up and see what happens, they will not touch this stuff. And you can bleach the trap and all that, and they don't want no more to do with it. Another problem we have here, we have another little problem. Yeah, Steve-O's got another little problem right here that I'm going to have to address. This whole rail here is dipping way down. Just all those boxes, all the weight of those boxes are dipping this thing way down. You can actually see a bow in this thing right here. So yeah, that's not good. What we'll do, I've got the rails, I've got 2 extra rails like that, and as soon as I can free up these, we'll let these cycle out. I've got one over here set up. See, they're sitting on there nice and straight and fine. That is not your standard, by the way, Lowe's top rail. Okay, actually those were the uprights and the chain link fencing. I took down a compound that was quite large. It was a county. I did a job site. I had a county job I did, and the entire place was wrapped around. Now these are DOT approved. These aren't your cheapo Lowe's posts, the uprights. They were embedded in concrete, and I asked the guy if I could have it. He said, yeah, you got to pull the post. I said, well, I don't want that gob of concrete on the bottom. He said, that's fine. chop them off and throw the concrete in the dumpster. You can have the rail. So I ended up with a bunch of these, and I probably gave 50 or more to my buddy, and he put in some chain link around on his 3-acre property he had, and down one side he needed posts, so I gave him those. And I've got all these rails here, plus I got a couple more back there. So yeah, this is not going to work. These are the landscape timbers, they call them, PT landscape timbers, and I will be shutting this deal down and installing with our ant system. Okay, I'll be putting a rod across there, and we will piece, and it'll be a PT 2x4 going across to our little ant moats. And this will give us a chance too to check our ant moats when I take this all down. And we'll put a 2x4 across there and set the rails up. These good rails, I got them right over there. Put these back on, because this isn't going to work. Just thought I'd show you that, what's going on. Let's get a suit on. Let's get a veil on. We set these up on, they said I put here check 615, but we established these on 515. So you're basically, I mean, here we are, June, what are we today, June 2? We are at June 2. So, you know, we've got, what, 17 days. I know there was a they're drinking syrup pretty well here. We put a virgin in this one, and this one, and this one. And I don't know, there's a few bees in here wandering around. They look kind of chilled out. Let's fire up a smoker and go on here and check things out. And let's also come over here and check something else out. Yeah, this thing is drinking some syrup here. Oh yeah, buddy. Oh yeah, buddy. Let's go into this and see what these girls are doing with these, to see if we got peanuts up here. If we got peanuts up here, Saturday will be 5 days. It's only been 2 days since we set this thing up. But they should be making peanuts up here. If that queen is trapped down there, like I hope she is, above this cloak board right here, they should be making peanuts up here, because this now is two separate hives. Two totally separate hives. So let's do that. Let's try to get a veil on. Let's check our little two-framers over here just for giggles and see how they're coming. Okay guys, what's going on here? Let's see, it's 80 degrees inside the grafting shack, and it's 96 outside. Yes, she's a warm one, guys. She's a warm one. Yeah, guys, it just never ends, you know. It never ends with the like I told you before, we have got to stop the stupid. It's just unbelievable what's going on. I don't know if you've heard the news or whatever. We have manatees in Florida dying. They're starving to death. Starving to death. And this, to me, is a total easy one. This is an easy fix as far as I'm concerned, but who am I to say? I'm not a biologist. I'm just a backwoods beekeeper, okay? But I get what's going on, and I understand it. These manatees are dying because the seagrass that they eat in the bay estuaries are dying out. I've seen this going on for a long time. And where they're dying out is around all these millionaires' homes, okay? So yeah, all you millionaires that are killing things, why don't you try to change it up a little bit and reverse your stupidity, okay? And what the stupidity is, in my opinion, this is totally Steve-O, and I haven't heard anybody talk about this whatsoever. And it's called St. Augustine grass. Yeah, St. Augustine grass is what the millionaires all like on their lawns. It's a kind of a standard grass in Florida. The other grass that us lowlife, what you call deplorables, maybe I'm a deplorable. The grass us deplorables have on our yards is bahia. They call it coastal bahia or cow grass. You can feed it to your horse, but all your real expensive millionaire horse people, they import all their hay from Canada, you know, Tiffany, alfalfa, all that. They have to have that really super good stuff for their critter. But us old crackers, we can feed our horses and cattle, cracker cattle down here, bahia. Okay. Well, that's what I have out here in my yard, bahia grass. It can grow in sand, okay? It is tough. It'll brown out if you don't get a lot of rain. But this time, now we're coming to rainy season. I'm out here every week bush hogging this stuff down, cutting this hay, and I'm in the saddle 2 hours every week cutting this stuff. All it needs is water. But with St. Augustine grass, the high-end stuff that all you millionaires like, you've got to have a whole bunch of stuff, because not only do the millionaires like it, so do mole crickets, chinch bugs, mold, the list goes on, and you're putting a lot of fertilizer on that grass to make it grow. You're putting a lot of insecticide on that grass to keep the critters out, okay? You don't do any of that stuff, guys, with bahia grass. You water it if you want to. I don't do anything. I let God water it, okay? And if God doesn't water it, it slows down, all right? Winter comes, it slows down. Rainy season comes, it speeds up, trust me, all right? So anyway, you got the rich grass, people's grass, with all these chemicals on, and guess where all of the poison's going? Yeah, all the poison's going through the artery system, stormwater artery system, okay? And guess who put that in? I did. Yeah, for many moons, Steve-O was planting that stuff in the ground. All that stuff, all those pipes, guess where they go? Gulf of Mexico. They may go through some retention ponds, some spillover weirs, control structures, yada yada, but it all ends up in Gulf of Mexico, all right? And it's amazing how much of this comes down. There's what they call a bypass canal over here in Tarpon Springs, and all this golf course water, all this nutrients, and all these homes. Every home you see has got St. Augustine grass. All these high-end subdivisions now, not your low-rent ones like I'm at. High-end. Golf course, all those people have St. Augustine grass. All of that stuff is going into Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, it comes out, it takes a big dump right under the Sunshine Skyway out into the Bay areas. All right. All of that is killing, you ready for this? Killing the food that the manatees eat. All the seagrass. Now, why am I the only numbnut that knows this? You got biologists running around here. Oh, what do we do? Oh, what they said the other night. Oh, we're going to have to be careful when you see, don't put out fertilizer now and insecticide when you see a rain cloud coming. Now, here we are in the rainy season, right? And this is the time of year where you want if you're going to fertilize something, they do it because the rain's going to put it in the ground, make the grass for super green. Guys, they're killing the environment. You know what they're doing? You know what their fix is, guys, for this? Now, here's some real rocket scientists, guys. Some geniuses. These are our leaders coming up with this stuff, okay? They're going down and buying iceberg lettuce, okay? I think iceberg lettuce has got 2 more molecules more for the human body and the manatee than maybe a breath of air, okay? There's nothing in iceberg lettuce, guys. It's a ridiculous deal. So they can't, they're trying to come up and grow grass, you know, beds in a lab or whatever. Well, what good does that do? What good does that do to come out here and replant the bays and whatnot with seagrass if you're going to sit and dump umpteen tons of fertilizer and insecticide and whatever's into that water that's going across there? And it's not only killing the grass, it's taking the grass has got, guys, the grass is where all the babies are raised, all the shrimp, all the little crustaceans that everything eats. The fish stocks have fallen to nothingness. They keep talking about fishing, how great it is. That's a total joke. I sold my boat a long time ago because I got tired of going out there and seeing nothing. So I just thought I'd bring that one up to you guys. No one seems to be addressing the fact that you have to stop, time out, stop growing St. Augustine grass in your yard. If you do, you need to tear it out and just have them put in Bahia grass. That's all. That's all. Put in Bahia grass and forget it. It's not going to be pretty. It's probably not going to be approved by the Homeowners Association. But if anybody cares about, and just, you know, can you imagine the cost, guys, of running out here and buying iceberg lettuce to feed an animal that can weigh upwards to 2,000 pounds? They're dying by the hundreds out here. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen, guys. Craziest thing. I mean, what these people are putting in their Kool-Aid, I'm assuming it's the same stuff they're putting in Joe's Kool-Aid. Yeah. But I don't know. And Nancy's bad too. She's getting something in her Kool-Aid. I don't know what it is, but it's got to stop. It's just got to stop, guys. Yeah, it just amazes me what's going on. Oh, the house cats, that's another one. That is a real beauty, guys. House cat. Everywhere I look, every time I turn around, there's a house cat sneaking through here. And what it is, people get these house cats, and it gets to be a burden, whatever. They're tired of the vet costs are crazy these days. They just let them go. And they put in these little doors. They think this is cute. Put in a doggy door. They have them for cats or dogs. And let them go out at night and roam and this and that. These cats, guys, will kill stuff just for fun of it, okay? Australia, they decided, no more cats. You're taking out all of our endangered marsupials, the little possum-like guys and little kangaroos, and they're killing everything. So they got shooters now to go out and shoot these things, trap them and shoot them. But now we have some real geniuses in this bunny huggers, okay? If you were a real true bunny hugger, you'd want to save the environment, not trash it with cats. If you got a cat, keep it in the house with a nice little kitty litter box. Do not let that animal outside. Do not let it outside. Because they, just for giggles, kill things, okay? Wow. I mean, you got to be a genius for this, guys. You got to be a genius. Everywhere I look, I see mockingbird. I don't see any mockingbirds anymore, but I see where they've been, and then they're on the ground, and you got a big, look like a pillow fight. You got mockingbird feathers all over the ground where a cat caught it and ripped it apart. Yes. And they just, half the time, well, these wild ones, they do eat them because that's all they got to eat. They think it's a good idea to let these, oh, well, see, this all stems back from way back in my great-grandmother's days, went back and when they had the homesteads, right? They had the grain bins and this and that. Every farm had cats, okay? I get it, okay? They're taking out the mice. But half the cats I seen back on the farm, they weren't taking out anything. They're waiting for their next meal or a pail of milk. They used to love that fresh, warm milk out of the cow. And then they just lay around and sleep while mice are running by their nose. I watched that many times, but this thing, and especially in Florida here, knocking out all of our mockingbirds, I see cardinal feathers all over the place. Look like you had a pillow fight. These cats. Keep your cat in the house, guys. And now we've got bunny hugger veterinarians now, mind you. Oh, they're going to do the world a great favor. They're going to not only vaccinate the feral cats. There's teams of people going out setting live traps, guys. Are you ready for this? I don't know who's picking the tab up on this one. They're trapping them. They take to a veterinarian that has a kind heart, okay? Instead of euthanizing them, all right, and throwing them in the friggin' incinerator like they need to be doing with these cats, because they're a nuisance, a problem. They carry all kinds of diseases. He vaccinates them, spades and neuters them, then they release them back into the wild to create more issues, taking out more of my Steve-O's songbirds, okay? Yeah, it's flipping nuts. Absolutely nuts. I gotta, guys, can you feel the love yet? Can you feel Steve-O's love, okay? These people are losing their friggin' minds. You don't need to be, trust me, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, guys, but do you really need to be? Boy, have you seen them wearing you out on the ads on TV, Big Pharma. Whoa, woo. I'll tell you what, who comes up with the names of these drugs? That's a beauty. All these different names. It's such a brainwashing, ridiculous thing they do. It should be totally illegal. Why would you sit and just feed people, human beings, innocent human beings, by the way, that don't have a clue what they're up to? What they're up to is, yeah, a lot of money, buddy. Why would you do that when you could tell a person, say, listen, eat, get off, stop the standard American diet? And what is that? It's highly processed food, high carb diet. You don't need it. You don't need that junk. Get off the sugar. We've seen Joe and Nancy, what they act like. They are off the chart, guys. They are off the chart whack jobs. And it's all because of their diet. If you could straighten out them people's diet, you'd have to put them in a cage, by the way, because they're going to go nutso without their sugar. Yeah. Human beings aren't designed for that. We're made to eat a carnivore diet. Don't just believe me. Try a carnivore diet if you've got any medical issues whatsoever, and I had a laundry list of them. For the last 4 years, I've been just about strictly, I was going on it for about, heading that way, full carnivore. I was keto carnivore for like 4 years before I went full carnivore, like I have been for like about 4 years now. All the stupid problems I had. Of course, I'm 73. As you age, you start getting a little more ache here, ache there. But all my joints prior to this, guys, I was arthritic. It was terrible. Skin issues. Yeah. All kind of issues going on. And I said, I got to change it up. I have got to change it up. I am not doing well. And I watched umpteen family members check out, okay, with all kind of issues. All of my friends that I see are checking out like dying like flies. Yeah, and the misery before they check out is unreal. So yeah, I'm just coming by here today. You know, you got to have your little dose of Steve-O every once in a while, you know. So I just like to flip those, you know, common sense things out. The other common sense thing I see they're trying to do now is gun control. Boy, see, here we go again. Gun control. No, the gun control is pretty much hitting what you're aiming at. That's gun control. Wow. Just enforce the laws that are on the books. No, they won't do that. No. Their whole goal is to take away all guns. I've never seen a gun jump up off the floor or out of the gun cabinet. I've never seen this in my whole life, guys. A gun jump out of the gun safe, unlock the gun safe, jump out, load itself, and run out and shoot an innocent human being. I've never seen that in my entire life. Or my deer rifle, jump off the wall and run out and shoot a deer running across my backyard. I have never seen that in my entire life. No. These people, guys, want one thing. It's not about your safety, and you know that. I mean, oh, please, don't get me started on these people. Wow. Got nothing to do with safety, your safety. No, they are afraid of we, law-abiding citizens, having a way to defend ourselves when they come to take our stuff. Well, no, it's not going to happen. This whole gun control thing is not going to go well for them. No, it is not. Okie dokie, that's enough of that silly nonsense. Wow, so you've learned a few things. You learned about cats today. You learned about guns. You learned about manatees. You learned something about iceberg lettuce. You learned a little something about grass today. And the people that are running this show, I think they're smoking a little bit too much of the funny stuff in grass. Yeah, too much of that funny grass. But it's all fixable, guys. It's all fixable. This manatee thing I'm talking about, I think that's probably a very easy one. Now you're going to just totally piss everybody off. It's going to be like gun control. Say when a guy comes up, knocks on your door, oh sir, we've noticed that you have St. Augustine grass in your front yard. He's going to go, yeah, I love it. It's green, it's pretty, I love it. Well, it's got to go. It's got to go. Yeah. We're going to bring it in the sod cutter, and they're all out for you. You're done with that. Boy, that's going to go over, guys, like a turd in the punch bowl. But the turd in the punch bowl's got to come out. The turd's got to come out of the punch bowl because you got to clean up the environment. I'll tell you what, guys, back in the 50s, when I was a little young whippersnapper now, there's a place, we lived in Clearwater, Florida. Clearwater, Florida is just south of me from where I'm at right now. Go down there half an hour south of me. Depending on the traffic, it might be 40 minutes now with the traffic. We lived there, and I used to ride my bike all the way. I was about 5 miles. I'd ride my bike down to the seafront. That water, the name of the town is Clearwater, okay? Back in the day, you could look into that water, and you could see the bottom. It was unbelievable, guys. The fish, it looked like you could literally walk across the fish, the mullet. There were so many mullet out there. Now, they put in a place down there, they call it Island Estates. You take 60, you can look this up on a map. 60, it runs all the way into Tampa, it goes all the way to the Gulf of Mexico to the west, okay? To Clearwater Beach. just before you get to Clearwater Beach on the north side is Island Estates. Now, way back, I don't know, you might want to Google it, what year because I was very young when they started this thing. They went in, our contractor went in there, developer, and they put all these seawalls in. I'm talking a ton of them. They put in a maze, guys, of roads. Then they brought in, put in the roads. They brought, well, the seawalls first. They brought in seawalls first, put these seawalls all up. I mean, it's a maze out there. Then they brought in the sandsucker dredges, cutter dredges, and they started cutting and dredging and filling everything on the inside of those seawalls. They built streets, everything. There's umpteen $1 million homes out there right now, okay? You not only get your umpteen $1 million house, you got a dock system with your yacht out there, okay? Well, as a young whippersnapper, I'd go down there and fish. And before they completely sucked out all the grass beds, people were coming from all over this state to fish Clearwater. There was guys back in the day, that would go out there in a wood rowboat and 6 cane poles. And they had little traps. They'd catch pigfish. And they'd hook on there for bait. And they'd have these cane poles sticking out of these little 12-foot boats, rowboats. Making a living, guys, catching sea trout, great big sea trout like this. Yeah, I'm talking 40s, 50s, and what. That water today, and when the water was crystal clear, the grass beds were everywhere, all the shrimp, all of the oysters, the scallops, coquino, the coquino little shell, they were all in there just thick. You could pull up just handfuls of those things. We used to make, back in the day, coquino soup. We'd throw them in there and folks would cook up coquino soup. It was unbelievable. So back when I had my gig boat going out here, I hadn't done it in years. I went with this kid back I knew in school. We'd take a little 10-foot, we had a little, I think a 12-foot little John boat. Had a 10-horse kicker on the back. We'd launch over there, Seminole boat ramp. We'd take off, go on over there, go out to Caladesi Island, which is all part of this island system. And we would gig flounder, big flounder, back to water. I said crystal clear, guys, crystal clear. So I hadn't done it in years, so I said, I'm going to go. All them fellas, they left, gone, died, whatever. They're all gone. I hadn't seen them for flipping years. But anyway, I went out there. I said, I'm going to go out there and see if those flounder are still there. I put in a Seminole, took my boat rig down there, had my lights all set up. I took one fishing pole because I wanted to fish a little bit till the sun set, and then I was going to night gig. And I sat there, and all I could catch, no trout. No trout. And I was putting out cut mullet, you know. Trout in the back in the day used to slaughter that cut mullet. Nothing. Just nasty old, what we call hardhead catfish, or mud cats. That's all I could catch, mud cats. The water, guys, I couldn't hardly see in it. Couldn't see in it at all. I thought, well, it'll, you know, when the tide changed, it'll clear up, right? Sun went down, it got dark. I turned on the lights and I started cruising along those same old edges that we used to hunt back for this. Guys, it was just murky, nasty sediment all in that water, all coming off of these lawns. And over there, they don't even have retention ponds. It comes around, the rain hits, it comes and washes off the lawn, straight into the streets, straight in the storm system, straight into the channels. I'm sitting there going along, guys, and I look down, and here's this ugliest looking fish coming by. I took my gig and slammed in. It was a big roe mullet, and the flesh, it was actually a zombie fish. The flesh on it was rotting. It had sores all over it. It was, and you could smell it. I mean, it was rotting. It was a fish. It was a dead man walking fish. It was nasty. And I looked at that thing, I said, oh my God, and I shook it off of my gig. And I said, man, this water's not clearing. All I could see was shadows. I got up along the mangroves, and all I could see was shadows coming out, real slow shadows. And I seen this big shadow coming out, like a huge roe mullet, right? It's coming out of there, and I slammed it. I stoned him right in the skull. It was a big redfish. Illegal, guys. You can't spear redfish. I had no clue. I thought it looked just like a mullet and a redfish underwater at night. Unless if you got clear water, it's no problem. Okay, you can see, you can identify that fish. But this thing came out, and I slammed it, and I stoned him, and I pulled that up. And there are game wardens out there with binoculars and night vision watching everything going on. And I said, man, if I put this sucker in the boat, they're gonna nail me big time. And I shook him off of there, and he just laid in the water. Stoned, like I said, stoned him, and he just sunk. Here is a game fish that I killed illegally. Yeah, guys, if that ain't enough to disgust you, I don't know what is. I said, that's it. That, guys, has been 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago that little deal happened. Haven't been back since. I said, that's it. We were over there, Miss Daisy and I went over on the beach to eat one of them restaurants over there. And I said, let's go down to the seawall and look over the side. I went over there and looked. There's so much sediment in that water. It's just a breeding ground of algae and just junk in there. The fish can't survive. They just choke to death in that water. It's incredibly nasty. I don't know what our leaders are thinking. They're not thinking at all. They're thinking of this. Just like with the grass. Killing the manatees. I don't know. I haven't heard no more about this. Their solution right now, guys, for the manatee is go down and buy truckloads of iceberg lettuce and just throw in the water. If that's your solution, somebody needs a complete lobotomy, okay? All right, speaking of lobotomies, let's go out here and see if the bees have lobotomy issues, and we'll see what they're doing. Okay, guys, I forgot to tell you here, before we get into these two framers over here, my solution here is on this. I got some 1/2-inch hardware cloth, and I'm going to cut a piece to go clear around here like this, and then I'm going to take some 14 gauge tie wire and come right through on this and just twist it up. That way I just, leave extra tag so I can untwist it to reload it. That way you got 1/2-inch holes here. We won't have any rat issues, no possum issues, none of that shenanigans going on after that. They'll probably get mad and start chewing the strings off and all kind of stuff. And in the meantime, I'm going to keep my snap traps going and see if we can't pinch some heads. Let's go in here and see if these virgins of they've got lost at sea or whatever, let's go in here and see what's going on here, see what we can see. Be kind of cool if we got some new virgins in here, but you never know. There's quite a few bees here. Surprise, surprise. Getting overcast. I don't know if the girls are going to like me digging around in here or not, but oh well. Let's see what's going on here. Well, by golly, guys, we got a queen in here. We got us a queen in here, guys. She's laying like crazy. There she is. Speaking of the devil, there she is right there. How sweet is that, guys? Yeah. Now that was a that was a direct release virgin. I don't know if you watched me put that thing in here or not, but yeah, that was a one we put in. We just used sugar water. We put her in there. So this one right here, guys, needs to be put. We're gonna let her stay in here for a couple days more. So I'm pretty impressed with that. That was the weakest one too, by the way. I mean, that thing was really weak when I put her in there. So yeah, let's dive into this one and see what's going on. Wow, guys, fantastic, fantastic. She's laying in that one too. With a 2x4 at the ends, and that's what these are. These are all 2x4s at the end. They're cut to 10 inches in length. These sides are cut 21 and 5/16 long. These 2x4s are cut. The 2x4s are cut 10 inches long. That's the hive. If you take all my 5-frame hives like those are made. Those end pieces are made of 2x8s. Which ends up to be about 7 1/4 wide, all right? And then pallet wood sides. Yes, pallet wood sides. But utilizing a 2x4 here, you see this space here? I have not noticed that to be too big of an issue. As you can see here, there wasn't a bunch of fat stuff here. Now, if you left it in here long, they probably would fatten them out. Some guys are concerned with that. Okay, but I center these. So you can see here there's about equal distance on each side. I don't see an problem with it. If you guys have an issue with it, set your table saw up and shave a little off of here. See, if you cram this thing clear over, it's looking like you got about 3/4 of an inch here. If you wanted to, you could shave a little off of there, but why do it? All right, that's 2 done. These are all walkaways. Look at the bees in that. This is really my first year. I played with these 2-framers last year a little bit, and I really didn't. I don't know. I normally use 5s, okay, but for limited resources, you know, if you're making up a lot of hives with limited resources, this 2-framer, I'm getting convinced that The two-framer's the way to go, guys. I'm just, you know, I live and learn every day. The bees teach me something different every day, guys. I've been doing this a long time, but I haven't been playing with two-framers, see? I played with three-framers back in the 80s, and them things worked me to death. And I started switching over to five-framers, and that gave me a whole good month, plenty of time to get back to, they wouldn't be blowed out too much, because I could only make about a 1 month cycle the way I was running my operation. So anyway, we got one more over here to check. I'm not going to go into these until 6:15, because these are all, like I say, walk away splits. So let's not dive into there, and because we probably got virgins running around. But when we put these in, we had virgins, see, and they, in 2 weeks time, it's been 2 weeks since we released them, and see, they're back from their mating flight and doing good. Alrighty, guys, this little colony here didn't make it. This was that third virgin that we installed here. But see, this didn't make it. There's no eggs in here. There's no queen in here laying yet. And I've looked over both these frames. Nothing's going on here. So no big deal. No big deal, okay? But we know this didn't make it. I'm gonna put it back together. See, I installed a virgin on 5:15. She didn't make it. And this colony's on a way downhill, but they have not been invaded by any wax moth yet or nothing. I don't see any hive beetles in here at all. And so that's cool. We're going to take these two frames and utilize them in a day or two. I'm going to set up a 5. I'm going to put these guys in with these guys over here, and all I got to do is drop in 1 extra frame. That'll make our 5-frame nuke, and I'll haul that girl to my other yard and put a feeder on her, let them fatten that thing up. All right, let's go to the back and see how the cell builder's doing. Okay, guys, my mission here is just to see if they're making peanuts over here on this thing. They're making peanuts here. I just put it back together. We're going to come in on Saturday and do a graft. Okay, I see no eggs in here. I'm carefully looking these edges here. They will tuck peanuts in these things. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about with peanuts, it's a queen cell. We beekeepers call them peanuts, because that's what they look like, a peanut. So look those edges over good. They're sneaky. They will hide them. Okay, I see no eggs in these open cells at all. So far, I don't have a queen up here. That don't mean nothing yet. Okay, You talk about, guys, you talk about peanut happy. Look at it. Here's your peanuts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12, 13, 14, 15. They're all capped. They're all capped. I don't need to look in his hive anymore. That's it, guys. We don't need to look in this thing anymore. I'm gonna fill up that jar right there. It's empty. So that bottom girl down there, I want her to keep going. She has, as you remember, I had 2 outside frames that she could lay eggs on. I mean, they could draw a comb and lay eggs on. So we want to keep her in high production. So make sure when you leave your queen downstairs with all this shenanigans we're doing up here, making queen cells. I think I'm only going to do 1 round here. My bud up north here, a little farther north, I'm hoping Saturday he's going to have some extra queen cells we can get into incubator. Yeah. So we'll have those to play with, plus the ones we're making here. They should be able to make some jam up queens in this cell builder right here when we stick them grafts in on Saturday. All right, guys, it was fun chit-chatting with you. I hope to see you soon. Saturday, today's Thursday. Yeah, Saturday we'll get in here and we'll do a graft and make mo bees. See y'all later. Be happy, be strong, keep getting it on, and try to stay away from the numb nut far left. Okay, guys, it's just you're not going to learn nothing. Okay, see you soon. Bye bye.